The pandemic year of 2020 was also a record-breaking hurricane year with 30 named storms. 12 of these storms hit the continental United States. One of them, Hurricane Laura, made landfall in Louisiana as a Category 4 storm, the strongest ever to strike that state. Laura's devastating effects on the coastal parishes and its direct hit on the city of Lake Charles made hardly a blip in the busy news cycle of 2020. But the damage was catastrophic. Katrina Welch of the Evangelical Free Church of America's ReachGlobal Crisis Response arrived only a few days after the storm.
Lake Charles, Louisiana recorded wind gusts of up to 137 miles per hour. And you can imagine with that kind of wind, every single building was impacted. Every home, every business, every building has a tarp or is crushed or has walls caved in or roof torn off.
6 weeks later, Hurricane Delta crossed the Gulf of Mexico and took aim at Louisiana. It landed as a Category 2 storm only 12 miles east of Laura's track. Where Laura had brought wind, Delta brought rain, as much as 16 inches. The tarped and damaged roofs of Lake Charles and the drainage ditches full of debris could not handle the water, and many buildings received further damage or even first-time flooding. ReachGlobal Crisis Response had been working with churches in Friendswood, Texas since Hurricane Harvey in 2017. Now, staff members and church members went to Lake Charles to help. They connected with Lake Charles Bible Church. Though the church had been severely damaged, the church's families began with a focus on helping each other.
And we're here at Lake Charles Bible Church, where I've attended since I was 17. My husband and I were married here. Our children have grown up here. This is not just our church, but it's our family. And so there's a lot of traumatized stories out there. Mine's not one. Mine is a story of just a lot of hard work and laughter and fellowship and working side by side. And one of the first jobs I did is I went to a friend's house and we went upstairs and we stood in her daughter's bedroom that I've watched grow up since she was tiny, and there was no ceiling. It was just open sky.
We had a very bad Hurricane Laura, and we found a tree on our house and it was into our bedroom. Just overwhelming looking at all that. God has been so good to us. It brought along so many of our church family into our home to help us go through things, tell us what.
One of the things we lost was a 60-year-old piano that was in our playroom, and the water just seemed to pour right on top of it. And the interesting thing about the piano is that we bought it from Lake Charles Bible Church when our kids were little. After we lost it, we realized that it had been a piano of a dear friend of ours, William Brumley, that just felt like it sort of represented loss in a way for the church, and us.
And then as we started to put all the pieces back together, we get the news that there may be another one. I think at that time I was the most struck by how depleted we all were. I think we all were physically and emotionally just depleted. And that second evacuation was really tough.
The one thing I have learned personally through this is that the body of Christ is not a building. Our neighbors whose house wasn't affected much have taken us in. We've been having church in their backyard under a tent, so in the midst of disaster, because our church has had a big loss. I mean, there's really no building to meet in anymore. In the midst of all that, we've had some really sweet communion times out in the open with the people that are left, because the people are the body of Christ. That's the church. And so we still have a church. Lake Charles Bible Church is still strong and still functioning and still worshiping the Lord and still loving each other and working for each other.
While church families focused on helping one another, Crisis Response focused on gutting and cleaning the church building. Hurricane Laura removed much of the roof and rain poured through the ceilings. Hurricane Delta added 6 inches of fetid floodwater. Volunteers from Louisiana and Texas began coming several times a week to remove damaged walls, ceilings, and fixtures in order to prepare for rebuilding.
You know, I can't tell you how many times in the last 2 months I've come to church and seen a person that I don't know, and they're in a blue shirt, so I know they're supposed to be here. They just keep going and they work along, and when the next time I come back, there's progress. And until you've been through it, you can't know the encouragement that seeing progress made each time you go back, what that does to a person.
This hurricane brought plenty with it, but the one main thing it's brought to us is opportunity. Opportunity to get to know great organizations like ReachGlobal, who came in the first week after the storm. And we got to know CAD. We got to know people who love the Lord like we love the Lord. And we got to partner with an organization that has helped our community for the last few months.
Now Lake Charles Bible Church and ReachGlobal Crisis Response have begun a formal partnership for long-term ministry to the community. Thousands of homes in the Lake Charles area are damaged or unlivable. It will be years before the area is fully restored. The partnership allows teams from all over the country to come and stay at Lake Charles Bible Church while working in the homes of members and their neighbors in the community to rebuild not only homes, but lives.
I'm glad we have said yes to ReachGlobal. I am so happy to have them be a part of our ministry, as it gives us great opportunity now through this storm to reach into the lives of our neighbors and our community.
I wish everyone had a relationship with the Lord and then a church body to share that with, because without it, this is a very lonely, desolate, isolating world.
The formal response started in January 2021 with a team from Friendswood who helped set up the team housing. Now teams are coming from all over to be the hands and feet and heart and voice of Jesus to those who have been through the storms and have not yet emerged from the crisis. If you've come with a team, we want to say thank you. If you can come with even a small team this year, you'll make a difference.